supermarkets. It's hard to avoid these modern temples of convenience and consumerism. And like the fictitious temples from adventure stories, they are filled with pitfalls and booby traps designed to make you spend more than you planned.
As any good treasure hunter will tell you, you can never let your guard down.
There's nothing to fear here.
I'm sure this is what people are feeling, especially with inflation being high when they go to the grocery store.
That's what scares me.
But with a little preparation and discipline, you can safely swing past every metaphorical snake pit, rolling boulder, and alien spaceship?
Let's pretend that one didn't happen.
Okay.
From the moment you walk through the front door, your senses are getting played. Bright, colorful flowers, the smell of fresh baked bread, soft, comfortable music, all these things are designed to put you in a relaxed, suggestive state of mind so that you'll take your time and be more open-minded about what you came to buy.
If you're like most people, you probably start in the produce section, and that's no accident. Stores have found that when people stock their cart with healthy things early on, they're more likely to reward themselves with junk food later.
It may be tempting to grab some of those pre-chopped fruits and vegetables, but take a second to compare the price by weight. You could be paying 200 to 300% more to not have to wield the knife yourself.
Plus, they often have a shorter shelf life, and you're creating more packaging waste. That's why I chop my own vegetables 5 days a week.
That is an amusing topic. Definitely this does happen. You do have to make your own personal decisions on whether you're chopping your vegetables or not. But to mention the store layout, this is something that I've heard done also at like wholesalers as well, like a Costco, for instance. They use different tactics here. So I think I've heard them using kind of like the security, like showing your ID to kind of make it feel like exclusive and like you're part of this inside club, and also showing things like TVs or other electronics that are very expensive, sometimes in like the thousands of dollars, right when you enter the store, such that like once you have chosen not to buy one of those things, even though you probably weren't going to when you entered that store that day, you feel like you've made a good decision by not spending an extra $2,000 when you shouldn't. So you're more likely to then buy something else that's like $10 or $20 down the road. Definitely other retailers do this as well. So that is something I would caution folks. So I know luxury brands do something similar, for instance. So I think they have like security guards there also to kind of make it feel more exclusive. I think I've even heard them describe as they reject people from entering into the store sometimes, just like make them want to come into the store even more, which I've definitely seen work. Some people seem to get upset at this and then like come back with like a bunch of money and then like get back at the store by buying a bunch of items. So there's a variety of ways that retailers go through these like mind games to kind of trick you into buying things from them. And for us, we're going into a store one time maybe, but for the retailers, they're planning for there being hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people entering their store. And so any little change they can make to make even one person spend a little bit more than they would have otherwise is beneficial to them. And so it's just something to be aware of if you aren't aware of these things already.
Oh, and by the way, that mist that makes everything seem fresh and crisp, it's pretty much just there for show. Constantly spraying water on produce can increase the health risks of bacteria and make certain fruits and veggies rot faster.
It also makes some produce weigh just a bit more at checkout, so make sure you shake them out before you bag them.
As you walk the aisles, remember to look up.
These people must be super fun to go to the grocery store with. I can only imagine being at the grocery store with somebody like this and them highlighting, oh, your broccoli has a little bit of water on it. Have you shaken it out yet? Like, we need to save those 3 cents. It's just making me think of like my own family going to the grocery store and how nitpicky some people can be and how frivolous some other people can be while shopping. And so, but this seems like that they would be having a grand old time if they're looking for these things all the time they go to the grocery store.
Up and down, not just side to side. Stores put their most expensive items at eye level, hoping you won't notice the cheaper alternatives above and below. And yes, that applies to kids stuff too.
Excuse me, would you like a free sample?
Sure, I guess. Free samples are more about your emotions than your taste buds. They create a feeling of personal obligation, like you're already in too deep to back out. So if you're gonna partake, be prepared to make a clean break and move on.
You're just gonna walk away? After everything we've been through?
Supermarkets don't just want you to buy expensive stuff. They want you to buy more stuff in general. Take this so-called bargain. Most people assume they have to purchase all 10 to get some perceived discount. But if you read the fine print, you'll usually find that the unit price is the same, no matter how many you buy.
It's also why shopping carts have been getting bigger over the years. Marketing tests showed that shoppers spent up to 40% more with a double-sized cart. Those super-sized carts also make it difficult to do a U-turn in a narrow aisle, so you're more likely to take the long way round. A longer path means more temptations, which is why stores will periodically rearrange the merchandise to keep even
This I hate. This happens to me at my regular grocery store on a fairly regular basis, where like there's certain items I get all the time, and then I go to look for it. It's not where it was the last time I looked for it, and then you're like now on this hunt throughout the entire store to look for that one item that has been moved. It's so annoying, and I'm sure it does help them get somebody to buy more items, but it's such a random inconvenience that it just feels, I don't know if it's worth it for them. I'd want to see the numbers on ROI for moving all of the items. I'm sure that also has to cost the employees some time and money for them also to try to remember where all the items are every single time they change it, but this one I dislike for sure.
experienced shoppers searching.
Some people think that's why essentials like milk and eggs are always at the back of the store, but store managers insist on a more innocent reason. By law, these items can't be unrefrigerated for very long, and since the delivery trucks unload at the back, it makes sense to put the fridges there. I guess making shoppers walk the whole store is just a happy accident.
Once you finally found everything you need, there's one more trial to overcome. The check stand! This is where stores traditionally keep impulse purchases like candy and magazines and gum because they know that by now you're experiencing what psychologists call decision fatigue. We get tired of being sensible and weighing costs and benefits. It weighs us down and it makes us more open to suggestion. So it's best to not even look at that stuff.
Don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Mary, and don't look at it no matter what happens.
These strategies have been refined over decades to make shoppers spend more than they have to and buy more than they need. Unfortunately, people who buy more tend to consume more and waste more. It's kind of a lose-lose-lose situation.
But shopping for groceries and cooking at home is still cheaper and healthier than eating out all the time, which is a major reason why millennials are having trouble saving money. So, by all means, go to the supermarket. Just be prepared.
First off, and most importantly, make a list, even if you have to write it on a napkin in the parking lot. Don't go through those doors without it. The fewer choices you have to make in the store means less fatigue and less temptation.
If your store has them, use smaller carts to discourage overbuying. Although those hand baskets may not be a good idea, studies found that the physical act of lifting and carrying hand baskets made shoppers feel like they deserved junk food rewards. The brain's a funny thing, isn't it?
Bring headphones and listen to upbeat music. This will keep you fast and focused. And make sure you don't go grocery shopping hungry. That's just asking your reptile brain to take the driver's seat.
And if you still have trouble sticking to the plan, leave your credit cards at home and bring only what you want to spend in cash. Julia and I have been doing that for years, and it keeps temptation in check.
Remember, these stores aren't evil organizations getting away with highway robbery. In fact, as an industry, supermarkets have one of the lowest profit margins in the US, so they rely on these mind games just to stay in the black.
But you have a right to defend yourself, and the best defense is understanding how your brain works.
And that's our 2 cents.
Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please hit like or subscribe. I'll see you around.